Hi, welcome to JJ's Productions. We've got another Hitman 2 video. This time we're in Miami and we're doing the Escalation, the Bigmooney Flamboyancy. So this was quite a fun one. It was also a little bit annoying at times, but I'll get to that in a bit. So first level, we've got to eliminate Levi, Ackerman with a battle axe whilst disguised as the mascot, or the flamingo, or as the title would suggest. So we're going to take out a camera first of all, so easy shot. And just to make the axe a little bit simpler, we're going to pick up the crowbar. So first step's pretty simple. So I was a little bit torn. I didn't know whether to start as the mascot or whether to get the disguise. I chose to get the disguise, but I've seen routes since that make me think that starting as the flamingo isn't that bad an idea. It all depends what your view is on crossing from one end of the track to the other. I thought that would take more time, but when I actually look at it, I'm having doubts. So leave in the comments what your thoughts are, because I am quite curious if you think that is quicker than doing what I'm doing right now. So we got the disguise. In the briefcase I brought with me a sniper rifle. Why have I bought a sniper rifle? I just wanted an illegal item. So you can bring along whatever you want. In levels 2 and 3 I bring something else which does have a purpose. So whatever it is, just make sure it's illegal. So at this point we're going to use the pistol just to make this woman run off. We're going to just go into the elevator shaft, drop the briefcase and take out the sniper rifle. At this point we're going to climb the elevator shaft all the way up to the top floor, or at least the top floor the elevator goes to. So as you can see, up we go. In reality I didn't need to bring a sniper rifle. You know, it is big and clunky, not to mention I also picked a sniper rifle that takes a few seconds to unload. So yeah, that wasn't maybe the best choice, but I thought, what the heck, I'm just having a bit of fun with this one. So yeah, if you try and go for speed, just bring something small that you can easily place on the ground and a guard will see. So at this point we're going through the door, climbing through here, and we're going to climb up the pole to get to the top floor. So the target is a little bit crowded, and I think this was a good target to pick, especially for a level 1. Gets you thinking, how do I get him? Which, you know, I'll admit, it did get me thinking. So we'll climb through this window, and what we're going to do is we're going to drop the sniper rifle somewhere in here. So just basically somewhere so that as soon as a guard walks through that door, he sees the gun. So to do that, open the door, throw the coin, that way it'll be heard. Now make sure you take cover here, walk slowly, otherwise someone will see you walk there. So don't even crouch run, just crouch walk. At that point the guard will go to investigate the coin. He'll see that there's a sniper rifle on the floor. I'm using cover to go around this little area, and what I'm actually going to do, for a second then I thought the guard, the target had actually seen me, but no, he was just heard silent footsteps somehow. So we're going to throw a coin, that'll get him to go over there. The guard's taken away the sniper rifle, so we can just sneak around, and the battle axe is right here. So you can pick that up, go through the door, and you can use a throw to knock him out and kill him. So yeah, pretty simple level 1. I've got the crowbar in my hand, but you don't really need it. All you gotta do is just go through this door, use the crowbar on the gate here, and the exit's straight ahead. And if you haven't seen it, there is quite a fun little Easter egg exit here, which is almost literal. So yeah, credit to Bigmooney for thinking of a challenge that would cause people to do this, so well done. Anyway, we're going on to level 2, and this is where I do get a little bit icky about the conditions for who we have to kill, and more importantly how we have to kill. So level 2, we now have to kill a second and third target. The second target requires a death by either an unsilenced shotgun or an explosion. Now it doesn't say it has to be an accidental explosion either, so the way I read it is, explosion to me indicates I need a breach charge, and I'm not particularly fond of using that as a kill. I am actually quite pleased with something that's been changed since Hitman 2016, which is that you can now throw bombs or breach charges at a target and knock them out. So I do think that creates a little bit of an interesting gameplay dynamic, but yeah, I'm still not fond of having to use a breach charge to do this challenge, or equally having to find a way to use a shotgun. So I think I would have actually preferred doing the shotgun, even though I didn't. I sort of wish I had now, because I think that would have been a more creative way of doing it, even though it would have created problems with level 3. As you can see, nothing's changed from levels 1 to 2 except for the fact that instead of bringing the briefcase along with me, I've just bought it in the truck. I've bought coins in there, and if I remember right, it's the breach charge that's in my inventory, so no big changes. I think I might have even bought another item with me as well. Yeah, I bought a remote explosive. So nothing too big, nothing too fancy, just basically swapped out the sniper rifle for something different. So yeah, we're climbing the elevator shaft again. And the two targets are pretty spread out, the two new targets should I say. Antoine Mack, he's pretty near to the first target, and Gustav Gerber, he was a little bit awkward to get. I've managed to find a way to do it, but the trouble is it added time onto the route, and I've seen a route or someone's playthrough where they managed to get him a little bit faster, and I'm thinking, that looked good, but I'm not sure how reliable it was, so this is why I've done it this way. I wouldn't, if I could go back again, I wouldn't do it differently. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but I wasn't particularly happy with this either, so as much as I thought it was cool what I saw someone else do, I'm not particularly happy doing it myself. So at this point I'm just waiting for that guard to pass by because he could just catch me and it could slow things down. We're going to use the remote explosive and throw it over there to get the guard away. A bit similar to using the sniper rifle in level 1, we're using the explosive just to draw the guy away. Now, for some reason the target walks over as well, as if to say, ooh, what was that noise, what was thrown, you know, and it's just a weird mishap. I think even the guard who walks over there goes to investigate, so it gets complicated, way more complicated than it needs to get. So yeah, I wasn't particularly happy about any of this. What I decided to do was place the gun down, and hopefully that would create the effect I was after, especially if I threw a coin and it drew the guard over. But yeah, this was just not an ideal chain of events. Anyway, it doesn't have a big problem, but whatever you do, do not throw the breach charge. It will cause a guard to pick it up, because otherwise this just gets a whole lot complicated. So, we're going to throw the axe at this guy to knock him out. Hide his body because there will be NPCs who can see the body, so just tuck it behind here and it's out of sight. Through the door on the left there is also a crate, so you can put it there if you want to. Pick up the battle axe because you will need it to kill Gustav Gerber. We're going to go through this window and we're going to turn on a tap. That will bring in Antoine Mack, and we're going to knock him out to create the explosion kill. So that will be 2 for 2 shortly. Now with the final target, Gerber, the difficulty with doing Gerber's kill is that he isn't exactly reliable to get to, so we have got a little problem in drawing him in, but we will get there. So as you can see, Mac is coming in, he's just going to investigate that. We'll go and wait until he's turned the tap off, and then we're going to go and sneak behind him and subdue him. So he's going to bend down to wipe it all up. Go and sneak behind him and subdue him. Keep an eye out through the window just to make sure that no one is actually coming in and, or not coming in, but isn't looking through the window, and we'll see you commit the kill. So as you can see, just drag him in, make sure the body's tucked in so the door can shut, drop the breach charge on the body just so that no one will, so that it'll actually be a close quarters kill, it won't accidentally be too far away. Pick up the battle axe. As you can see, I actually get the breach charge out, detonate it, boom, target dead. So that's 2 out of 3 done. We've got probably about another 4 minutes of this route though, this because Gustav Gerber is a bit of a pain. So, at this point I'm just waiting for Robert Knox's bodyguard and the patrolling bodyguard to get out of the way, so they sort of follow each other in a bit of a orderly fashion. So we're just going to wait for them to move on. I think this guy's moving now, yeah. At this point, what we've got to do is go into the room just annexed to Robert's private office. So, as you can see, there's a door just up ahead, a silver shiny door. So yeah, there's the target. Now, there isn't an easy way to do this, I've found. I mean, there's a fuse box here you can turn off, but it draws in the wrong guy, this guy. And there are 2 ways you can do this. You can knock this guy out in this room. If you knock this guy out in this room, you can then use the fuse box to turn, well, you can turn the fuse box back on and then knock him out. That way no one, it's the idea, you can knock this guy out, turn the fuse box back on and then kill the target who is the next in line to come in before he gets in the room and finds the body. The trouble is that is very risky. I'm not saying you can't do it, but it is a little bit risky. Plus you've got to take the chance that, you know, this guy, the target Gustav Gerber is the one who comes into the room. If the other NPC in the room comes in, then you've got two bodies you've got to hide in here. Not the biggest problem, but still, you're taking a risk. So the best way I found is wait until these two NPCs here, alongside the target, are all behind, or to the right as we look at it, of the target. I think even the target might come to this wall where these two are. So you just have to wait until he is essentially the nearest to the fuse box. It can take up to a minute. There is a bit of me that wonders if it's, when I was doing the route, if it was worth waiting for Antoine Mac to, you know, just leaving him for a bit and going straight to Gerber. But I wasn't convinced that these two moved immediately. At least in the sense that I didn't think taking out the time I spent on Mac would get me Gerber faster, if that makes sense. In fact, I thought it might mean that Mac might create more problems. So yeah, this wasn't that great, I will admit. I actually got a little bit bored, I think, and I might have even turned the fuse box on again a little bit early. The idea is, though, as you can see, this guy on the left, he's just put his tablet away and he's walking away. So what we're going to do, as he's walked behind, we are now going to interact with the fuse box. The target will now be the one to come and investigate. We're going to go outside of this room, just go through this door, go and wait here, make sure that no one's coming, just if you're in a different time to me. Just have a quick look with instinct like I did, just to make sure no one's in the hallway about to see you with a battle axe in your hand. As soon as you see him go through the door, or even if you don't want to throw it, you can just sneak up behind him and do a silent attack. I wouldn't do it close up personally. It doesn't have an impact, but there is a risk he could drop over. I did it and I was immediately going, ooh, he isn't going forward, is he? So yeah, it's not the worst thing if you do that. As you can see, he did fall behind me, but I have had instances in the past where I've done it with, say, Silvio Caruso and Sapienza, and they haven't landed where you want them. So just just be wary of that. If you do use the close-up melee, there is a risk of it. So at this point, we've just got to make our way to the exit, and we did pick up the crowbar, so we're going to exit the same way as before. It's a little bit trickier getting out of here. I do wish it was more simple. So as you can see, we're going to go through this door now the guard's passed. And what you have to do in this outside area is essentially use the plant life as cover. It's not exactly foliage, but you can use the height of these little shrubs or whatever they are, the plants, to just make your way over. We do have to wait up a moment because there's a guard there who he sits outside for some reason. So as soon as he walks back in, we can go inside. And that is pretty much it for level 2. So yeah, same as before, just wait until that door's shut. You don't want him hearing the crowbar being used here. I did actually do that one time and he just rushed straight out and caught me, so just wait until the door's shut. And yeah, that is level 2. We've got the Easter egg exit again. So for level 3, it's a returning complication from Hitman 2016, and it's one that, whilst I do like, I wasn't particularly happy to see it in this one, so credit for Bigmooney again for coming out with it, but equally I'm like, you little swine. The condition is rapid elimination streak, so after you kill the first target, you have 30 seconds to kill the second target, and another 30 seconds to kill the third target. So yeah, I wasn't fond of this. However, there is a new mechanic again in this game that wasn't in the previous one, where not only are you allowed to throw bombs and whatnot at targets now, but you are also able to throw battle axes or other items at subdued targets. So it is much better. That I really love the idea that you can knock a target out and then use a melee weapon on them as well. In the last game, it really did irritate me. So it's a good addition. I'm actually quite glad it's been included because it makes this entire escalation a ton easier. So yeah, I'm so pleased that's back in. Well, I don't know if it would have been in before, but I'm just glad it's here now. So, subdue the mascot, same as before. To be honest, the first steps are going to be the same. The main trick of this level is just not committing the kills until all of the targets are in position. So the idea is I'll use the battle axe to kill the first 2 targets and then use the remote breach charge to kill Mac. So nothing too complicated, we'll just make sure they're all in line. So as you can see, I missed my first shot, but I just shot a couple of times. That spooks her as usual. We're going to climb up here, and yeah, nothing different, nothing's changed, just pretty much the same from level 1. We're just spooking that woman to climb the pole. Now, like I say, I have seen routes, because I do like looking at what other people have done after I've played it, just to see if there's anything I could have done better. And one of the things that I did notice is that there was an idea of maybe you could get, so I'm trying to see his name, Ackerman and Gerber quite close together and then just detonate Mac. And the only trouble with that is Gerber. For me, he is just so, I wouldn't say isolated, because that's the opposite word. It's more like he's that tightly packed in that room with the other two NPCs that it's really tricky to pull him out. The technique I saw, I think it was 4-7 to used. I think he used pistol distractions to pull him out of the room, and I liked it, but on the other hand it was like, So there are ways to do it, but on the other hand I'm not sure how reliable it is, in the sense of if someone who isn't great at pistol distractions, if they could do it as simple as what I'm attempting to do here. So if you're quite good at the game, then yeah, of course you're going to do it, but if you like me and maybe you prefer the more basic to intermediate techniques rather than the advanced techniques, then I think the route I've done here is quite suitable. So same as before, we've got the target here. Unlike before though, we are going to subdue the target. We aren't going to kill him, we're just going to knock him out. So wait until these two have moved far enough away. We're going to sneak up behind him. Well, actually we're going to throw a coin just to make it a bit easier to get him. I did pick up the battle axe, but I wouldn't really do that yet. I'd wait until we've done all the targets. So I didn't really throw the coin in a good area either, so that didn't help. So subdue the target. We're going to drag him around so that he's behind here. There is going to be a point where you're going to have to lure the guard away as well. This is one of the troubles with this plan, so you will have to keep up with that a little bit as well, unfortunately. Pick up the coin, you don't want the guard seeing that. And what we're going to do is, I was tempted to drag the body and then I thought, hang on, will one of the guards come back while I'm dragging, so I just changed my mind. As you can see, I did get a bit of attention there. I think I actually had to sneak into the second room straight away purely because the guard was coming in. That was awkward. So yeah, as you can see I'm taking cover here. Mac is going to come in here, and so is that guard who came back a little early. So yeah, it's a good job I didn't go dragging that body. So Mac comes inside, and we're just going to wait for this nosy little bodyguard to move and for Mac to just start cleaning up, and then we're going to subdue him. Same as before, we'll drag him in this room just so that if that bodyguard does look through the window, he won't see a body on the floor. Yep, so he's in position. We're going to knock him out and drag him away. As for Gerber, I again didn't get the timing right. I don't really know how to get him faster other than that technique which I referred to. I think the idea was that 4-7 did. I think what he did is he took a pistol shot into the room to draw the nearest NPC's attention to it, and then he threw a coin so that Gerber was the nearest NPC to hear the coin. And the idea was that with the pistol shot being in the room that they're all in, the non-target stays out of the room, whereas Gerber, hearing the coin, comes into the room. I think that was the technique anyway. It was clever. It was quite, with all these professionals, I call them Hitman players, they've got very good speed on it, so you have to keep up with what they're doing. But as a technique, I couldn't really vouch for how good it is, if you're just learning the game. But, if you want to give it a go, I would advise it just for the fact that I would speed this up, because this does take a while. I did try and bide my time. I was hoping that I could just wait for those two NPCs to move, or even for Gerber to move. The trouble is, Robert Knox is there, and he just slows the route down a little. He's just chin-wagging away, and the others just hold things up a little. So, yeah. And it didn't help that I thought, could I just get a bit of luck that I didn't get the first time and use the fuse box? So as you can see, I thought, let's give it a go. And I don't know why I did, because that was a complete waste. So if you're playing this, just don't do this, because if anything it could slow this NPC down. And instead you've got me here just climbing up and down this pole like a madman. Another thing I was curious about, and I didn't want to try, but just because I knew what was happening, I didn't want to mess with the route as it was. I didn't know if throwing a coin into this little area down here would cause this NPC to go and investigate it. So if you want to try using the fuse box to get him to go and turn it off, and throw a coin down there, see if he hears it. It could get him out of the way, which means you can then use the fuse box again. It's a long shot, I'm not saying it'd work, but it might be better than doing what I do here, which is pretty much waiting for Gerber to be in position. I go back to what I said at the beginning. I do like the idea of this escalation because it's got a lot of things that I do like in escalation. You've got the battle axe, which reminds me of the Cotty paradigm from Hitman 2016. It's got the idea of one disguise, again reminds me of the Cotty paradigm. And it's also just got this element of you can mix things up, you know, with the explosion or the non-silent shotgun, but it just doesn't really work well in my eyes. I mean, I didn't think the rapid elimination was required here. I don't know exactly what would have been my preferred final condition, but I just think that the rapid elimination just caused this scenario where you're essentially just knocking out targets, and personally I'm not a fan of it, but you know, each to their own. I know a lot of people have loved this one since it was played out, so I'm not saying anything about Bigmooney. I do love the idea of it. I think he got a really good idea down. I'm just critiquing a little and I'm thinking what could have been done to make it just a little bit more fun for everyone. You know, I can understand that you also want to give the professional players something fun, but yeah, I'm just wondering what would have been a good overall blend. So yeah, we're going to subdue this guy. There he goes. And at this point we're just going to go from target 1 to 2 to 3 essentially and kill them. So battle axe in hand. We're going to get rid of the bodyguard that was in the way first of all. So just go and wait for that guard there to move because he's just standing there annoying everyone. So I actually come outside just to get a better angle on him. As you can see, he's just about to move. So as soon as he's passed, we go through the door and we've just got to go to the first target pretty much. There's 2 guards there, so that is a little bit annoying. I've got a coin though, so I can move him out of the way. So let's just wait until the first guard moves. Or the patrolling guard, should I say. So as you can see, he's just stopped in mid-patrol just because he wants to do some boring-ass report. So let's get the coin. And we're going to just throw it just to cause a little distraction. So there we go. We're going to go all the way around just so that this guy can't see us. And we're going to subdue him. I think I might have even used the wrench. Yeah, so there we go. And as I said, there is a little box or something in the next room, so we're going to drag him into there. So here we go, drag, 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 and into the box you go. At this point, I have got the battle axe somewhere, although it did get a little bit lost. Where did it go? I think it's just right ahead. I think I thought I dropped it in here. Yep, there it is. So the idea is pick the battle axe up. You're going to have to wait for this guy because he's decided to do his patrol again. I think there was also a little complication because Robert Knox decided he wanted to come up here again. Yep, so that made things a little bit complicated. That guard's seen the gun the other guard dropped. So that'll get him out of the way at least. Robert's inside, so that takes him out of the situation. So all we've got to do is wait for this guard to get his arse in gear and move the gun. So there we go, jump through the window. And we're going to start the 30-second countdown. So 3, 2, 1, throw. Pick up the battle axe. Now, in these scenarios, the best thing to do is wait until if you're struggling to get to a target, just detonate the breach charge by yourself in 30 seconds. As it turns out, I didn't need it, so I just snuck into this room, open the door, throw the battle axe. That's target number 2 done now. And there's the breach charge, press detonate, boom. Nice and simple. So that is the Bigmooney Flamboyancy, and it was fun. Like I say, I've got little criticisms of it, but it doesn't mean that it isn't fun. It's just, you know, you sometimes you want just that little bit more, and maybe even a little bit less as I've referred it to, but it doesn't mean it's a bad escalation. So I'd like to thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you're enjoying Hitman 2 and you want to see more videos, subscribe to the channel. I'm releasing them as many times as I can during the week, so keep up to date with them. Thank you for watching. This has been Josh from JJ's Productions. Hope to see you in another video. Bye for now, everyone.